Hey there, solopreneurs. It's Friday. It's just after 4 o'clock here on the East Coast, and I hope that you, like me, are getting ready to start a weekend that involves zero work. I wanted to share with you, though, before I end my day, the story of a failure, of what seemed on the surface to be kind of an epic failure in business for me. About this time last year, I was launching a new membership called the Biblical Bootstrapper Collective, and I worked really hard, probably 12 and 14-hour days on all the things. I knew that my audience was too small. I still have a small audience by the measure of most, but that's okay. I launched this membership and I did it with what is called a PLF launch. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, that's a product launch formula. Jeff Walker has a great book out there, and it's one way that you can use to launch a new product, especially a course or a membership it works particularly well for. So I did this workshop in which I was teaching Christian entrepreneurs at the time, solopreneurs now is the word that we use, like you and like me, all the things that they needed to do to have their business foundationally be right. And as I was telling them, and you might have been in that audience, and you may remember this, as I was telling them exactly how much I was not going to overwhelm them, I actually kind of pointed a metaphorical fire hose at them and absolutely overwhelmed. Now, I didn't grow my list very much. I didn't get very many members in the membership, shockingly. But the good news is that the few members that I did get, I have just a handful, single digits, guys, but a handful. I worked really hard to serve them over the last year as I was also finishing up my last graduate degree. And so I didn't try to grow the audience, too much anymore. I focused on the people in my free group, and I focused on my members, and I just served them really, really well. Now, it was a coaching membership, a coaching and community membership that was focused on growing your business according to biblical principles. And so in the process of serving the people in my membership, I learned, and they learned, that what I was really super good at, what I was absolutely best at, was helping other people focus on the next right thing, the next thing for their business, and on becoming a better steward of their time, their energy, their talents, their resources, their relationships. I helped them create margin in their lives. I helped them not have to work weekends anymore. I helped them put their focus in the right place and to do those things that they knew they needed to do them consistently, and to sit back and trust God, because we have this tendency, don't we, to, if we're not where we need to be in a certain measure that we're taking, a certain metric of our business, whether that's audience size or whether that's revenue or whether that's like a number of students or clients that you might have, we have this tendency to think that if we haven't hit that number, that we just need to work and work some more because we haven't hit that number yet. And the truth of the matter is that what you're doing underneath, what you're doing every single day, those daily actions that you're taking consistently that would get you to that place, that's the important thing to focus on. Like I focused on and served my members during that time where I kind of sat back and didn't even try to grow my audience. And so out of that, out of understanding what I became best at, and out of understanding what I helped them to achieve as I helped them focus on next right things, God was also showing me some things about Sabbath rest and about rhythms of rest in life. And these very same things I'm talking to you about, the fact that me, during that launch last year, I did the very thing that I now teach my clients not to do. I spent 10 and 12-hour days trying to get all these things right, wrestling with tech, because when we're solopreneurs, we wear all the hats, right? We have to do all the things. And guys, back-end tech has always been a little bit of an albatross to me. This year it wasn't. Yay, progress. But anyway, the point is, during that time, I wasn't starting my day out with God like I normally would, because I believed this lie that it all depended on me and that every bit of it depended on my human effort. But what John 15 tells us and teaches us so clearly is that apart from God, there's not one good thing we can do. Apart from God, what does my 10 or 12 hours mean? If I'm a Christian and I'm committed to following him and I profess him, does it really mean anything? He is my source. He's your source. He's our provision. And yes, we have to work towards excellence, and we have to work on all the things that we do as if we're doing them for God and not man, right? But here's the thing, guys. if we are submitted to his will and we're abiding in him, and we cannot abide in him if we're not spending daily time in prayer and in the word and seeking to truly know him more, just for the desire of our heart to be to know him and to please him and to fulfill his purposes for us. If we're not doing that first, that 12 hours is futile. You can actually make more progress and get more traction if you only have 3 hours in a day to work on your business, but you're living in that place of abiding with him and you've put him first and your relationship with him first, because it is the first and best thing. If you're familiar with the story of Mary and Martha, then you know that Martha was upset. Martha was upset because Mary was not helping her in the kitchen, and she had Jesus and his 12 disciples there, 13 extra men to cook for, prepare a meal for, and she wanted Mary's help. And hey, do you blame Mary? I don't. I don't blame Mary, and I don't blame Martha. I don't blame Martha for wanting Mary's help, but I certainly don't blame Mary for sitting at Jesus' feet, and neither did Jesus. He told Martha, Martha, you are worried about many good things, but Mary has chosen what is best, and it will not be taken from her. And so, I've begun to think about and kind of develop this concept of best things, and that always needs to be first, and that best thing is to pursue him. Then we go to first things, which are super important, high priority, but right behind God. And then we talk about right things and next things. And these are things that you'll hear us talk more about on the page and in the group. If you're not in Genuine Stewards, by all means, click on that button up there right below the banner and come join us, because we have a ton of resources in the group. And if you're in a place in your business, like a lot of us are, and you're kind of bootstrapping, you're a solopreneur, and you don't have a lot of money to spend on these expensive programs and all-in-one solutions for digital entrepreneurship, come join us there. We have tons of resources, and I will tell you that I am introducing the Pare Down Challenge, 7 days to restful rhythms, because you don't have to be my coaching client and you don't have to be in my membership to learn from the principles that I've taught my clients that have helped them to get rest and peace and margin in their lives, and to get traction and get growth in their business, growth in their number of clients, growth in their email list, growth in their groups, growth in revenue, which is important, right? But still, guys, my coaching, their work, ultimately not the source. Ultimately, what happened is my clients came into alignment with scriptural principles, and God specifically revealed will for us, which is right there in his word. And so the Pare Down Challenge is an opportunity for you to do the same thing and to learn some of these same principles and to start to apply them to your life and see where you can pare down on the things in your schedule, pare down on obligations, and set better basic boundaries, because we have to learn to say no to many things so that we're not saying no to the most important things, so that we say yes to the most important things. And so that's one of the things that the challenge will help you do. So I'm going to drop a link below here when I'm done chatting with you, and I hope that you'll check that out, and I hope that you'll join us. But even if all you do is go and look at that page, here's what I want to tell you. That I did that entire sign-up page, or better known as a sales page, right? I did that entire sales page in MailerLite, which is completely free until you have above 1,000 subscribers. I have the sign-up process, the product itself, and the payment collection, because it is a paid challenge. It's a $10 challenge, because when we're invested, we get results. Did all of that in MemberVault, which is free until you have 100 users. Everything literally was done that I needed to do to get the information out there, to have people sign up, and then that automatically sends the challenge takers into the private Facebook community where all of the challenge work is going to take place, right? So all of that working together, MailerLite and MemberVault play nicely together. It's all free. It's all free, guys. So in Stewards, you can find out more about other free resources, but you don't have to be held back by a lack of capital to move your business forward. And in fact, Often we're our worst enemy and holding ourselves back by not putting first things first and by not putting that time with God first. So even if you don't check out the challenge, even if you don't come join the group, even if you don't keep following this page, or maybe you're seeing this and this is the first time you've even come across me, regardless of your level of continuity with any of the things with Focused Christian Solopreneurs or any of the other things we've talked about today, I just pray that you will go and reflect on John 15 and think about Jesus' words to us in that passage, and just understand and truly believe that apart from him, there's not one good thing we can do. But if we are in him, if we're abiding in him, if we put our relationship, our growth, and our spiritual maturity ahead of everything else, if we just have a desire and develop a fire and a passion and a hunger and a thirst for him, he truly does take care of everything else. And his specific will is right there in his word. If we align our priorities with his specific will, it's nothing but a win all the way around, even if in the end things don't look the way we thought that they should. I love to remember that God is omniscient, omnipotent, and that his knowledge is perfect. We see this much of the picture. We think we see it all. We don't. We see this much of it. He sees it all. He's got the 360 panoramic view of the whole thing. And we can trust him because he is a good father. Anyway, go out there and have a great weekend. I hope you're not working.